It's your boy Bleeves. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
What is going on, everybody? I hope you're having a good morning. My name is Bleeves. This is Breakfast with Bleeves, where we bring you all the crypto news that you need for the day. And the only crypto news that you need for the day is, I don't know, because there's nothing really going on other than everything. The Binance is under attack. Binance has, by the way, paused USD withdrawals. They're looking at new rumors persist that there are new sources for them, but it looks like what we're being told is that there is, by the way, is the intro a little bit better? It's only 1 minute now. You can stop crying about me. It's too long. You know what I mean? So hit the like button on your way in, by the way. And let's get into the most important and the first part of, we're gonna it's gonna be a new segment. I mean, I want to call it like fuck this guy, you know what I mean? But I don't have an intro for that, so we're just gonna call it the clown show. So let's do that. All right, so what we've got is, and I hope that you can see this because Jesus fucking Christ, I don't even know if you can see it right now. I shortened the intro. I shortened the intro. So if you're coming in and you're like, why is this thing going on? And by the way, can you see my screen? Because what I see right now is a black screen. Are you seeing just a black screen? All right, well, let's try this one more time. I don't even understand what's going on at this point. I have no idea. You better cut that shit out, man. You better cut that shit out. I just shortened it. It's like a 40-second intro now. And it's real short. I fixed it. Hit the like button, by the way. Even if you don't like it, like it. You know what I mean? All right. So when I did it on the so then it was this, and then it was all right. So let's cut that out, and then we're just gonna do we're gonna share. There we go. All right. So in our latest version, or our first version of fuck this particular asshole, I got a message from somebody, and I don't know, and I don't know whether or not this is legit or not, but I got it from somebody that I trust to be in this space doing stuff, and he says, put this person on lock today, bro. Last week, he stole 18 ETH from people and then tried to disappear. I found him again, and he's doing the scam all over. So if you see this one, says scam recovery service, it's $SRC, is an innovative cryptocurrency designed to support communities affected by scammers and developers. And his name is @RichieGamble. He rugged a project last week, took the 18 ETH out of the deployer wallet and was gone with the wind. And now he's created the scam recovery. I don't know the answer to that. I know that there was a mediation that was going on, but I haven't heard. Matter of fact, let's find out, because I'm actually pretty interested in that. Let's when Phantom. There we go. We're asking the question, and the developer's actually probably watching, so we're going to find out. We have 69 watchers, dude. Whoa. Goddamn, the simplest things amuse me. You know what I mean? Like, the simplest things amuse me. I can't even help myself anymore. You know what I mean? So this guy is the scammer of scammers at the moment, at Richie Gamble on Telegram. I don't know for sure. Again, I do not know this person. I don't know that is or is not the thing, right? But if somebody else is telling me this, then they're part of the community. So we're going to warn for the community just in case you are into this. And we will see. We will see whether or not this is good or not. You know, I don't know. And why is there shit like blowing up on my screen right now? Why are there? Does anybody else see a whole bunch of white shit on your screen too? Like, am I going crazy here? I have no idea what's happening here. All right. So anyway, we're going to go back to that anyway. Pre-markets are kind of a mixed bag, down a little bit on the Dow in the overnights. I don't know the reason. I didn't even look. Yeah, like stars. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Could be that Chrome is just no longer compatible, and I've about had it with Chrome anyway. So I've already converted over to a new browser. I just haven't done it yet because, you know, this is where all the links are. Everything is more familiar here. So, but yeah, we're converting over to something because I don't know. Google's you're on notice, Google. That's all I can say. Still trading in the middle of the zone here without a lot of volume. The last hour has been pretty good. Pepe up 5%. Blah blah blah, all the way down the line. You know, kind of a 24-hour move towards the upside. And wait a minute, somebody just called it. This is the call of the day right here. The RFD reversal appears to be in. If you remember what we talked about last night, I said if this goes, it could go up to this line and then wouldn't go ahead of it. But if it does, then most likely it's going to break out all the way up to 2,000. And that's going to be your perfect opportunity to get yourself a little bit of money back. Now, as you can see from where it is right now, this is a 1-hour chart. You can see that what's happened right now is you've broken into this spot right here at 1,600. And this 1,600 is an area of support and rejection. So it's possible that right here represents as far as you can go. However, if you've broken out of this channel, then most likely it's going to run at least to 2,000. 2,000 is a much bigger area with a lot more resistance and support. So if this is a legit breakout, then there's about 25% more to go on RFD. So I would be very careful. You certainly don't get in right now. You don't chase a green candle. If you weren't in at one of these bottoms over here, then you missed out. But may I take another victory lap and say that if, again, I keep telling you guys, when you hit these bottoms, when you hit these like right here, then play it up to the top. This top just happens to be a much better top than what you might normally get. So, I mean, the move so far is 47%. Could be, if it runs up here, 84%. So that is a great opportunity here for you to make a play. Richie's in the house. Richie's giving out memberships, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Richie. If you would, guys, if you want to support me, the best thing you can do is when Richie gives you out a membership, when it's time to renew, just renew. It's $5 a month. Certainly helps me out and helps the channel. But make sure also that you're hitting that like button on the way in. So we've got the reversal And that may play out pretty good. I mean, again, like, I don't want you to lose money. I don't want anybody losing money. RFD, I just don't trust the project because it ran too hot for too long. And it became exactly what every other project was. Now, it did this for a lot longer, but remember, I told you up here, don't do this. Get your money while you can get your money. So if you did, then that's incredible and awesome. If not, then if you want to make a little bit back, play it right. Remember this channel, get your money while you can get your money. Again, I do think that since it's broken out of this trend, that we're going to see a test of 2000. If you see that test of 2000, and by the way, look, it could run and it could keep running. I just do not think that it's going to run. I'm telling you right now, if you were to gamble on that fact, you'd be at zero. But I would think it would run to 2000 because that's the next big area of resistance. And here's the other part. Blur, the developer, if he is doing this himself and he's pumping it, then like if he's making this pump happen on his own with bots and wallets, and I mean, you can see right here, most of the buys that are coming in are botted. So it's 100% a bot thing happening right now. So there has to be a limit on how much you're willing to put in for that risk. And there are, by the way, when you say, well, it all looks like bot, well, no, it doesn't. Actually, there are individuals that are in here buying. So it is being tracked, right? And it should be tracked appropriately. And you could say, well, it's a router. Man, when you see this happening right here without routers, that means that it's not. So when somebody tries to convince you and says that, no. But listen, if he's going to bot it up to a certain price, be there for that price. You know what I'm saying? Like, let it ride, get up to 2000 or so, and look, take your money, because I'm telling you right now, it's not gonna idle at 2000. You're not creating new investors. And you can come over here. You can always look and see how many investors you have, right? Not even 1% increase. So when this comes back down, don't expect it to go more than 1% higher, right? This is the bottom over here. This bottom over here is now going to be 1% higher. That's, I mean, it's simple mathematics, guys. Right here to right here, maybe even if you want to get aggressive, you could say maybe right here. So when the bottom comes back in, maybe it comes down to 1200. But the most likely scenario for it to play out long term is if this is the bottom, in fact, about 1100. And if it comes back down, it's still going to be in that 1100 range, right? It's still going to be in that spot. So RFD, let's see how it plays out over the next little while. Looks like a good move. Bloom Block had a nice move, up 14% on the day to 85.70. Now it's down about 50% from its high. Still a low market cap, but positive momentum means something. Wagmy 73.48. Now we're in Wagmy territory where we have a new all-time high. When you come back over here, remember it was 67.44. A couple people could argue and say, well, you know, it was actually 67.38. Okay, well, yeah, I understand you're wrong. That's okay to be wrong. I'm the one that's always right here, not you. So anyway, we're now at 74.30 or 73.48. We had a nice little move. The new top is 75.83. Again, I have to preface this with some of the things that are fascinating about Wagmy, and I'm not going to get off on a tangent or a rant here about Wagmy Games because they don't pay me to do that. But I am passionate about the project, and I think that everybody involved are basically good people. And when you can find a good project, you should probably take a shot on a good project, right? So they were listed on CoinStore, which is an Asian market. That's a good way to try to add in some new people, right? Trending on the TrustBit exchange. Here you can view tokens that are currently trending on CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap. Wagmy Games is trending right now, according to TrustBit exchange, which is a fairly big deal. Good thing to see happening over here. I had a video that I did yesterday about Wagmy Games. They got shout outs from different people all over the place and all over the planet. And then somebody said, well, it's not technically not a metaverse game. Like, bro, it's not like, you know, like is it really a metaverse when it's really just, like a tower defense game? Because, like, is tower defense really a metaverse? Could that even, well, if the NFTs transfer from one game to another, it's metaverse. I mean, like, we realize that, right? So, now, that being said, now you have this right here, and you've got them walking around in a game. What you've seen so far is simply the tip of the iceberg of what we're building and we'll be releasing this summer. So not only are you looking to not only are you looking at this situation right here with the tower defense game, but maybe there's a little something else in the mix that you're going to start seeing. Maybe there's some kind of game, an MMO or something. You can walk around, blah 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 blah. There's a lot of cool shit going on in the Wagmy verse. By the way, set in 3022, which was 1,000 years after when they developed the game, which is 2022. So it's set in 3022. It's the humans versus the aliens. The humans are now human cyborg. The aliens are just a bunch of lizard people. I think they're called the Gary Genslers. They're from the Genslerverse, or the planet Gensler, or something like that. Just a bunch of lizard-looking, bug-eyed monsters. You know what I'm talking about. And so they're attacking Earth because Earth has a resource called Nifty, which is a nitrous ferrite, I want to say, and which, by the way, is a something that you can use for powering vehicles. If you didn't know that, now you do. So that's a declining resource. So now the attack is to farm the Earth for that, and the Earth is trying to defend itself from this attack. So that's where it all comes from, and that's why that was the premise. And there is a comic book series now coming out and stuff like that. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in, by the way. Helps to push us up in the algorithm. But with that being the case, now we have a metaverse being built out on Wagmy. And even though we don't have real confirmation of it, we now have a nugget to say, hey, something bigger is coming. So sitting at its local all-time high right now, I do wish, and I do hope, and by the way, for anybody who's listened to me for any length of time, you know that I think this has about a 300 million market cap potential in this current market, by the way. In a full bull run, I would say that this is just like an Axie Infinity type situation. This is like sand. This is like any one of these sandbox games, something like that. Couple $1 billion market cap based on being a game development company in this space, having IPs, having reasons for people to play, having functional revenue that can be generated through the iOS market, through the Android market. This is something that makes real world money happen, and that's going to be something pretty valuable. So again, in this market, I say about 300 million is probably going to be the cap, and that's because most of these tokens will test 100 million. And then if they survive 100 million and they do a good run, they're on a good run, then the next step is 300 million. And I think that might be the cap because the top 100 tokens run around 330 million at this point. So that gets them right near that top 100 because they have a use case, because they have a real function. And that's my logic. So, and I'm sticking to it. Pepe, 1188, starting to run. Now, Pepe, when I say starting to run, let's be frank here, it's not running that far and not so far, but it did break out. Remember, I told you that the resistance here is 1206. What you want to see in Pepe is you want to see it break over 1206, but here's the problem. Problem is you're going to run into this chop in resistance here at about 1260, which has been a rejection point, as you've seen over here and over here and over here, and has been the reason, and it's been preventative, other than this little channel, of it coming. This has to be a full-blown breakout. Otherwise, this line right here, you're going to be testing this line again, and it's going to be down here in the 99s. You'll be right over here doing this again in a couple days. Now, if you see this start to reverse off of 1200, by the way, I would exit this position. I would completely exit my Pepe at this moment. And again, if it reverses, and if you're Pepe, you want to accumulate more, right? So if you exit right here and you let it come back down, then it's going to come down about 30%. It's an opportunity for you to accumulate your bag 30% higher. And look, it helps you hold the floor. Now, if you do that, the risk is that it's going to go crazy. Spoiler alert, it's not going crazy. This is not the market for Pepe to just go absolutely bonkers. Now, when I say that, that doesn't mean that, because we're going to talk about Bitcoin in a few minutes, doesn't mean that Bitcoin's not going to just go bonkers. Like you're not going to see it go crazy. So bear that in mind. If it goes crazy, then you might start seeing some of these highs. I mean, Bitcoin runs to 35,000, then all bets are off. You know what I mean? If we're running up 50% on Bitcoin over a short period of time, then we're going to run up 50% on most other stuff. Just keep the market kind of even and keep Bitcoin dominance at least in that 45 to 50 range. We finally had a move over here on SHIB. It looks bigger than what it actually is, because we had that little bounce off of 77 over here. That's not a big move. That's less than 5%, I want to say, at this point. Yeah, we're like 3%, not even 3%. So when I say that we're having a move here, it's not a significant move, nothing to be concerned about or excited about at this point, not yet. I think that we found the bottom on Volt. Last night, there was a Spaces, Pablo, Power, Gainbanger. They were all running a Spaces. Look, I listened to it. I was, I paid attention for a little bit, but when they started talking about you just have to hold forever and stuff like that, and it kind of checks me out, because there's actually some honesty and there's some truth in that. But I mean, you should have a bag that you're going to have, like a moon bag, right? You have a moon bag on your favorite project, but then in order to accumulate more, you have to have a side bag, and that side bag is what you should be playing on this chart right now. When Volt runs up here, and if it runs up to 5,200, then you look at the gauge right now, because this is your path right here, and that's about a 6% move. You can accumulate a little bit more if you just play this margin, if the gas fees and stuff are enough, if you're holding enough that you can continue to improve your position, and without throwing more money at something, continue to improve how your position is. So I don't have a problem with you doing that. Like, I think that's, you accumulate how you can accumulate. And sometimes you take a risk, by the way. I'm not saying pull anything out and put it into something else, because that to me is ridiculous, right? But moving on, MMAI 3294, PSYOP 9755, Ben 7067. Now, Ben, Ben is having, it's still correcting downward. It should break to the bottom, and it is having a breakout on that downside right now. And I've moved these around in different places, trying to figure out how that logic breaks out, et cetera, try to figure it out. But I know that we're at the end of this little channel right here, and that to me indicates that there is some downside momentum. Now, in the meantime, Ben, BitBoy Crypto, he also knows that, and he has something planned. So it might cause a reversal fairly quickly, but I don't know that to be sure. I haven't seen anything right now that would tell me that it is going to have like this big reversal. Just know that he wants this thing at over 100 million market cap immediately. And that's all I can say about that. I don't know that actually happens. I just know that I keep hearing the rumors that he wants 100 million market cap, because again, he knows what I'm talking about. If you want to get in the top 100, you have to have at least about a 330 million market cap in order to be there. And so he understands the market. He's been in it longer than most of us. So down here, the number 100 is 312 million market cap right now. So if you want to get into that area right now, you're going to need a 315 million market cap just to be in that conversation. Speaking of which, MX token now did have a little correction, down 5% for the week, but look at this, almost 300% for the year. What a good investment that would have been if you knew about that early. Cult dropping again, 33.26. Grumpy Cat's just failing to gain traction. It was, again, we got in over here. We had a nice little breakout. Now it's starting to slowly sort of wane. Now you're getting that pressure where, what's the announcement? And they keep telling you there's something really big happening. And I'm not. And somebody said over here, Slum Doge. By the way, I talk to Slum Doge all the time. And we just talk about these kind of cryptos and stuff like that, right? He exited his position from Ben, Loyal, and Psyop, and he did that because he doesn't trust ETHBEN or what's going on in the ecosystem, because there's been a lot of change and a lot of differing stuff, right? But he is still invested in Grumpy Cat, and they keep holding back an announcement that they're waiting to make, and I don't know what it is yet, and they continue to not be able to talk about it. So I don't know. I don't know what it is, but we went into and we had a great discussion yesterday in Grumpy Cat. If you ever see me in the Grumpy Cat, then know that I'm usually a speaker in there, and I'll have a strong opinion about something on Twitter Spaces. So I'm definitely into all of this stuff. And by the way, if you didn't notice at this point, it's not effective until June 16th, but we do have a new sponsor for the channel. It's 100x Gems. We're going to be doing a partnership for the next 3 months, and we're going to see how it goes. We'll be doing in-depth analysis on 100x Gems about their new utilities that are coming out. First of which I do believe is scheduled to launch on June 16th. Everything is tentative, of course, in crypto. So as long as it works perfectly, as long as it's doing what it's supposed to be doing, then it's going to be launching around June 16th. So we'll start our coverage on June 16th, and you'll get a lot more details, a lot more information about it. But I really love William and the team that's behind it so far. So I'm kind of excited about the project, and we'll see how it goes. So just so you guys know, and by the way, hit the like button if you like the content, because it certainly helps push me up in the algorithm, and it gets more people into the chat, and we get more people talking about stuff. RBE 2190. Don't know why I'm still looking at this. I'm just curious at this point on whether it plays out the way that I said it was going to play out. And if you remember last night, the conversation that we had was that it's most probably going to bounce down here to the bottom, and then it's going to come back up towards the top. Now it's in the heart line again, so we'll see whether or not it does or not. But once it makes a move in one direction or the other, that should tell you what you should do on Rebate. And since Rebate is in that refund universe, not exactly tied together, but kind of biting on the refund, they use a similar sort of logo. They use a similar sort of idea and premise. So since they're using that, when you see a pump on one, you should see something happen on the other. So if it dumps down to this line, that's a buy zone. If it comes up here, I would sell, right? God damn it, I did it again. Pork fried rice, son of a bitch. I try my best. I try, but Loyal continues to move down, continue to get a bunch of stuff. I mean, I don't know if ETHBEN's launched a new project yet, or you know what I mean? Jesus Christ. Yeah. So Pork fried rice is here. Pork fried rice is here because he's trying to make sure that everybody can see the screen. So thank him by hitting my like button. All right, now let's get into the big dog in the room, and that is Bitcoin. The market is now up $5.6 billion on the day. Not a huge day so far, but it is still trending in this upline fashion, as you can see from what we drew the other day. And look, I'm telling you right now, 37,000 is programmed into Bitcoin. Okay, it is programmed into Bitcoin at this point. So get ready, because we are going to have that move. Now, today is a Friday expiry day. Yeah, Loyal is ETHBEN. It's one of the third contract. I don't, Jesus Christ. It's getting convoluted at this point. It's becoming more of a pain in the ass to talk about than it's worth. And I'm trying to be cool about the whole thing, but it's annoying as shit when the rumors persist that you're going to end up getting more of the tokens that you were supposed to get, and just a lot of shit with ETHBEN. It's just a lot. So we'll see what happens. But Bitcoin, so you're seeing here a nice little reversal. This is a 1 hour chart, so don't take it too serious. It's just for reading and stuff like that. Now, we did have a rejection off of the next resistance point. We are moving up into this spot right now in order to possibly fight and reject through that. Or if we reject back down, by the way, this is where we're coming. You see here, this what happened. We ended up down in this area. So expect to see the same if it does push in here and does not successfully move upwards. And it could not move at this point because it's a Friday. People are just looking to get out. We're in the middle of this heart line. It's, there's no real impetus right here. Everybody's kind of waiting to see, is there a reason for everything to pump, right? Well, and by the way, when there's always like a reason for something to pump, we only know that in hindsight. We never see that on the surface. What you see is basically what you get. When the market movers and the market makers decide that they're going to pump something, that's when it happens. So we haven't seen any move yet. Now, the other thing is, it's really been kind of difficult to read, right? But here's the ultimate, this is the ultimate test right here. Bitcoin is now in a descending channel. That means that it will go down until it goes up, which I know sounds ridiculous, but that's because it is ridiculous. So most likely it looks like we're going to have a good day and some smooth sailing. Look, the SEC is working hard to try to FUD Bitcoin. The SEC is working hard to try to FUD cryptocurrency, and the rest of the world is working hard to make Gary Gensler look like the lizard goon that he is. So there are these moving parts right now, and part of those moving parts is that what they're trying to do is they're trying to spook the entire market. They're trying to keep people from getting into cryptocurrency. Now, is it because they hate cryptocurrency? And the answer to that is no. They just want to regulate it. Now, how do they want to regulate it? They want to regulate it through their friends. Now, who are their friends? Duh, Goldman Sachs, Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan Chase. These are the guys that want to control this market. They don't want you having control of anything. They want it to be controlled by the people that they love. They want it to be controlled by the people who give them money. That's how the government works. Nobody who's getting into government is corrupt. They become corrupt because they have to rely on that money. And when they have to rely on that money to get elected, then they have to pay the piper, right? Then they're the ones that have to sit on the casting couch. You know what I mean? While the bankers do their thing. So, but ultimately, what we are in right now is this descending channel. So break, and if we have a break towards the upside, then we'll see that big kind of breakout. Otherwise, what we're looking at is probably moving into this sort of resistance area, coming back down, maybe even coming below 25.2 at this point, right? But the fact that we're at 25.2 right now and that's inside this channel, the fact that we're at the spot right here where we're about to reach 25.2, that to me tells me that Bitcoin is about to bounce off of that. And when it does, it's programmed, right? It's programmed. 37,300 is the next big move. So we'll have some resistance at 30,000. We'll have some fighting going on in this range. There's always going to be fighting up and down oscillating. But generally speaking, we are headed to 37,000 at this point, right? And we can get into all the reasons why. It's the next step. It's the next step on the chart. It's the next area that Bitcoin's about ready to bounce to. It did this, then it did this. Now it's doing this. Now it's going to start making another move, right? We're going to add more capital in. And I did see an interesting thing, by the way. When you look at volume, I'm going to do the volume over here. Somebody pointed out you don't really need the volume in the market to move the price up. You just need the volume in the market when the price moves up. So we could add another, $30 billion in capital or $50 billion in capital. Well, this would actually be about 200 billion. We'd add about 200 billion in capital and get over here, and then it would just oscillate. And we're only doing like 30, 40, 50 billion a day in buying and selling. So it's entirely possible that all plays out that way. So we'll see what happens. But 37,000 is what's programmed in right now at this point. And then we're just going to move around in this area until the next leg. And the next leg, the next leg is 54,000. And that's going to be right up here, right There it is, right there. All right. So then after this is 54,000, which is this little spot right there. So that's where Bitcoin is going. So it may take a while. I mean, you have to be honest about the length of time that it would take, all that kind of stuff. Now, here's the important part. The important part is where we're fighting right now. Where we're fighting right now is the 200 weekly moving average, which always seems to be the case. We're always fighting at the 200 weekly moving average. Let's make that just a little bit less obnoxious there. It always comes, it always tests. And what is it doing right now? It just came down here, it tested it, it keeps using it, and it keeps bouncing off of it. So it really does look like that's going to be where we are. So we've seen it for a long period of time, and now we've had the move to get above it. Again, this was the bear market. This right here was the come down, right? This was getting under the 200 weekly moving average, and now we've tested it. Now we're testing it one more time, and now here we go, right? That's just written in the stars. That's all I can say. The 20, the 50, and the 100, the 200. So, yeah, everybody says that. And Alex, listen, I appreciate that. When I said that Bitcoin was headed to 27,000 back in December of last year, everybody said 27,000, sure, wishful thinking, not going to happen this year. When I said that Bitcoin was heading to 30,000, actually, when I said 21,000, people were in disbelief. When I said 24.3, they were in disbelief too. When I said 27.4, they were in disbelief. And then when I said 31,000, they were also in disbelief. And some of them are still in the chat right now, and some of them are very quiet because they were like, "Oh, we're not going to 30,000 this year." Yeah, we are. And as a matter of fact, we're going to 37,300, and it's going to be pretty soon. And then the second quarter, the second half of this year is going to be a little bit better. There is going to be some oscillating. The question right now is, can we move up into 37,000 and then start to oscillate sideways for a little while to get ready for the next part of this move, right? So, but again, a lot of people have been saying this for a long time, and they, unlike me, have been wrong every step of the way. Selmo, where you at, man? Should be in here like, oh shit, man. Anyway, so we're going back. It's programmed in. Now it's just a matter of time. So, and the time, by the way, is running out. This chart line right here, that one's the one that tells me that it's going to happen, right? So we're getting towards the end here where the move is going to have to happen. And all the parts are lining up in the right places. Binance is under attack. Coinbase is under attack. They're both fighting back. In the meantime, Congress is stepping in, and they're starting to ask serious questions. All of the pieces that you've been hoping for, all of the pieces that you want to be in place in order to do something, they're all there. So now the next step is there has to be one more little impetus that happens. And that little impetus, let me tell you, that's Gary Gensler resigning. And it's coming a lot sooner than some of you think. Right now, he's dug in. Right now, he's like, I got to make all this stuff happen. Nope. He's on his way out. And I think everybody at this point kind of knows it. And Congress, look, you can't not be respected by anybody while you're trying to do your, like, you have to have some level of respect. And at this point, he doesn't have the respect of anybody. He has the order of the White House at this point, and that's not enough. You have to at least have some level of respect. At least if you're a Democrat, if you're a Republican, if you're Donald Trump and you just don't give a shit, you just like, put whoever the fuck I want. I don't care, right? But Joe Biden cares. So it's a little bit easier that way. So anyway, that's what's getting ready to happen. Everybody tell me no, because it's okay. I mean, you've been for 6 months now, you've been wrong about it. So keep being wrong. It's okay. And then be in disbelief. But remember, membership, sign up at MEX, NordVPN for your privacy. Go check out 100x Gems. Again, we'll start the content next Friday. BitGet for your trading needs. OKX. Also, I do have one more sponsor that I haven't put out yet, but I'm now sponsored by Bybit. So if you want to go check out Bybit, you can check them out as well. Anyway, this is not financial advice. My name is Bleeves. I'm always right. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll do some content. There's no content coming out today because I started doing it. I was having internet issues. Then I was like, you know what? There's no update on Ben. Volt. There's no update. There's nothing really to report. So we'll talk to you again very soon. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Hope you had a good time. Hope you enjoyed the show. Remember to sign up for MEXC, BitGet, and NordVPN down in the links below.
I'm checking my coins around